Hello, Farmer Life family. How you doing?
Hi, fam.
Here we are in our living room, which is a pretty rare interview in our living room, but it's December and it's still raining. So, anywho, even though it's still raining, we have had an amazing time down here. And here we have Dave Muscatella. I really enjoy this guy. It's his second time back, right? And you were here for just a short period of time. What, about around a year ago?
Oh.
Right, a year ago?
In May.
Right?
6 months
In
ago.
May, yeah, okay. 6 months ago. And I told you to come back, dig in, go a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole. And here you are, full 3 weeks. And he's dug deep. Dug deep. So, to start, talk to us a little bit about, what got you here, how you found out about Farmer Life, a little bit of your story.
Sure. Well, YouTube actually was why I came here.
Found us on the channel.
And here you are, full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm big into gardening. I'm big into produce. I worked in Safeway for a while and was in the produce department and got really interested in all different types of tropical fruits and exotic fruits, and seeing your video on the farm tour is what kind of pulled me in maybe 3 or 4 years ago, something like that, and it was just so cool to see all the different fruit trees on the property. So that's really originally what got me interested. And then as I watched more of your videos, I learned how this was a healing center.
Yeah.
And saw all the different people that were getting better and, on the spiritual path. And so one day I was like, I gotta do this. I gotta do this for myself.
Nice.
And I just bought the ticket and came out here.
Nice, sweet. That's cool. And we were talking a little bit about your story a little bit. Just real quick, you were talking about, how you're in trouble with the law and different things. Talk to us, you touch upon some of that a little bit, because that story is kind of poignant to what brings you to here.
Sure. So I experimented with many different drugs over the years, and I experienced consequences of getting arrested, going to jail, being homeless, psychotic, broke, all different kinds of consequences. I was on prescription drugs for many years and had a lot of bad times in my life. But I was able to come to a place where I surrendered and realized I needed help, and I got into the recovery community.
Nice.
And it's been great. I've been able to work on myself, grow as a person. I got a great community of friends back home that I rely on, and I look forward to getting back to them. And I feel like coming here was kind of stepping out of the box a little bit.
Yeah.
Out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that, right? So recovery programs, it's a little bit out of the box to do some of the plant medicine work, right? So not only are you're cleansing the body with the healing foods, the fruits, the vegetables, the herbs on the farm, but you decided to go another step further and try some of the psychotropics, the psychedelic drugs, namely the cactus, the San Pedro, and also ayahuasca. Talk to us a little bit about those experiences and how that's helped you in this recovery process.
Sure. Well, when you mention drugs, that word, that term is, misused in a lot of ways.
Totally.
I think. And what we're really talking about here is plant medicines.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Sometimes they're called sacraments.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Plant teachers.
Yep.
These plants communicate with us. They communicated with me before even coming here.
Right.
Ayahuasca, for instance, I've been looking at doing this for 10 years. I've wanted to do this for a long time.
Nice.
But I understood its value and its sacrament, and I wanted to make sure I was doing it for the right reasons, and that my motives, my intentions were in the right place. And I wanted to learn as much as I possibly could, because maybe at one point my intentions weren't in the right place. Maybe I wanted to experience a high, or just see shapes and colors, and
or even to
be out there in the cosmos,
or even like LSD. Sometimes you were just mentioning to me before we started the interview, you did LSD, but your intent was simply just to escape because you weren't happy with the world, that you weren't happy with your conscious world. right?
Absolutely.
And that's not really using it as a medicine, right?
Absolutely.
So intent plays such a big
Now,
role.
I did have experience with LSD where it did open up the doors of perception.
Sure.
I did see God.
Mhm.
You know, I felt the presence of a higher power, and that opened up my mind completely. It expanded my whole existence.
Right.
But I was caught up in addiction. I was caught up in fear, and I didn't have any knowledge of these substances. I didn't realize that you have to know what you're doing when you're getting into this stuff.
Yep.
And you have to have guidance, have to have the right set and setting. And all these things, all these preparations are so crucial to the experience.
Everything on the farm, right, kind of sets you up for these two very large, expansive experience, right? So you're doing detoxes, you're eating really lighter foods, and, you know, we're doing energy work, right? You know, and you're doing, you know, you're working on, you know, doing radical forgiveness with Jody, working on shame, guilt, letting go of the shame, guilt, fear, and anger. And then you do these medicines. And talk to us a little bit about the experience. So you did San Pedro. Talk to us about what you've learned in that experience.
So San Pedro, which is a cactus, it was an incredible experience. We did it in a ceremonial way. You know, you chanted. We looked at the sunrise. We did some sun gazing, the drumming. The whole ceremonial aspect of it was brought into the equation, which really, really helped to just see that this is a spiritual journey, and we respect these plants that are teachers.
Yeah.
I had done a little bit of peyote in May when I came here,
Yeah.
and I learned a very valuable lesson from peyote, that, you know, nature is constantly communicating with us, and we can't deny it. We can't deny the truth.
No.
That nature is a part of us, right? And I had used other plant medicines. I mean, plant allies, I should say, cacao and noni and holy basil, and getting into the clean lifestyle. It all led up to this.
Yep.
Right? So these plant medicines they're all tied in to all these other medicines. They're just on a higher vibration.
That's
They're
it.
on a higher spectrum.
That's it. And to touch upon it, like, you've experienced this, but in order to completely heal or change one's life, you wouldn't have to do a plant medicine. But
No.
it's an option. It's another way. And it's a way that's probably the fastest way. It's the most intense way. But it can cause a very fast shifts, right? And so with the San Pedro, like, give us some really cool shifts.
So the heart opening was just absolutely incredible. I mean, if any of you have experienced cacao, where you get a nice heart opening and you can feel the love of the universe and of Mother Earth, and I mean, it's a great experience to have cacao and to do ceremony with that. But this is just on a whole nother level.
Yeah,
I mean,
it sure is. The cacao.
the
It's a
heart
teacher.
just burst open, and I could feel the love of the universe, and it was so incredibly healing for me. And I let go of a lot of things, a lot of emotional baggage, especially when we were doing the energy healing.
Yeah.
And just getting super connected with nature. I mean, when I came down off the platform, the birds, the toucans came out, and even the insects and all the plants. It was just felt the rhythm.
You felt connected to it.
Yes.
Right? Well, and then, of course, you know, a lot of times, you know, you hear it from spiritual talk, you know, speakers, or you read it in a book, you know, and then you're like, oh, we're all one, you know, and everything's all love. But when you experience it and you have that aha moment, you're changed forever, right? And that's kind of what cactus medicines do. It teaches you kind of the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, you know, or The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, you know, the story of Dan Millman, which teaches the power of presence, the power of now. The cactus medicines will put you there, right?
Absolutely.
Put you right in the now, and you can create so much in the now. So much in the now. And when you feel that, instead of just hearing it or reading it, you're forever changed, right?
Yes.
It's the aha moment that I call it. You had the aha moment of the cactus medicine, right?
Sure. And I do want to say with that these are tools, right? It's not the only way.
Nope.
They're not a solution to all our problems.
No.
They're not a cure for addiction or for any problems that we're having. It's just there as a tool, a very powerful tool that we can utilize.
It's a river, it's a way, a lot like a 12-step program, right?
Yeah.
Like someone would go to a 12-step program to get rid of an addiction, right? Well, this is a way to quickly remove blockages to get rid of an addiction.
When they say in the 12-step program, because usually they're in the basement rooms of churches, so it's like, well, I found my way to God, but not in church, rather in the basement of the church.
See, that's great. That's great. And now you're working with the medicines. You come out of the basement. If anybody wants to recover using this river, as it's just one. Okay, so now ayahuasca, right, which is a little more intense. It's a more of a feminine energy, and she kind of has a bit of a kick. Talk to us a little bit about that, my friend.
Well, I don't even know where to begin. It was the most strange, intense, brutal, but beautiful experience in my life. I mean, the amount of energy and love that went into the ceremony was incredible. I mean, I remember just sitting there for hours while everybody was making their little nests and getting prepared. And the shaman here, Kevin, he set all the stuff up, and he didn't do it fast. He did it nice and slow with presence, with awareness of all his altar table and his oils and his candles and his feathers and all the things he had, his instruments. It was very powerful with the intent.
Yeah.
This is a sacred ceremony, that we are here to embark on a spiritual journey. We're not here to get high. We're not here to run away from our feelings. We're here to work on ourselves and to go really, really deep.
Yep, that's very important.
And for me, it started off with a dialogue that started years ago, where I started feeling the calling of Mother Aya. And I started to pray, I started to meditate, I started to talk to many different people about it. And I had a dream. I had a dream that I was on the medicine, and the medicine was talking to me just like a human being. And we had a conversation. And Mother Aya assured me that everything was going to be okay. And I knew then that it was okay to just, whatever path I went on, whether I did the medicine, whether I didn't do the medicine, it was going to be okay.
It's going to be all right.
So
that's beautiful.
Yeah. And then all these synchronicities just started happening. I kept running into people that had done the medicine. I became good friends with people that had done the medicine. I developed a whole community of people that were very supportive. Outside of the recovery community, I still have that, and that's awesome.
Right.
But I built something else that has encompassed a lot more.
Yeah.
And I felt called to it, and I felt like it was my time.
Yeah. So
going into the ceremony, I kept that in mind, and I had no fear, originally going into the ceremony. What did happen, though, is when I took that drink and I went and sat down, the fear started flowing in.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a strong vibration, isn't it?
Super, super intense.
Yeah.
And what it really came down to, what it boiled down to, was the fear of death. The fear of me as an individual, as a flesh and bone human being, that I was going to die. And it was very scary. It was mortifying.
Sometimes losing yourself, sometimes that's the ego death, right, that ayahuasca can provide. You die to be reborn again. Sometimes she loves to do that, just break you completely down to rebuild you, right? Get a reboot.
That's exactly what it was.
Dave 2.0. Here he is.
That's right.
The new 2017 Dave version. It's come out early. For all of you who want to buy it. It's come out a month early. Yeah, exactly, right? It just rebuilds you, and it's scary. That's scary, and right?
Very scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to apply some courage and just move forward with it, and I started purging, and that was awful, painful, and I was telling myself, I'm never going to do this again. I'm never going to do entheogens again. I'm never going to, go down this path. Like, I just want to pray and meditate the rest of my life and live a normal life and, like, stay away from all this. And, like, what did I get myself into? And, like, there's no way I'm taking a second cup. There's no way. I was thinking over and over again, there's no way I'm going to do it.
Brian's bad boy.
But Brian
Yep.
assured me if I took the second cup, there would be a twist. There would be a turn. A beautiful, he gave me some hope.
Yeah.
And I trusted Brian because he's been my mentor. He's been my teacher. And I've learned a lot from him. And I love you, man.
I love you too.
So I continued forward and I took the second cup and I purged right away. Violently.
We all heard it.
They all heard me all night.
All night long. You amongst others, man.
Yeah.
You're not the only one, my
yeah.
friend.
Everybody was.
It was
puking,
very purgy that night. Yep.
Puking everywhere. It was violent.
Yep.
It was a war zone.
It was. No question. Agreed.
Yeah. So after that second cup and purging, like almost right away, Kevin, the shaman, said, "You want another cup?" He asked me, since you just threw up, and I said, yeah, because he explained that beforehand. If you throw up, then you want to go back in there.
Yep.
And at that point, I felt the warrior inside. And I had experienced the warrior when I came here in May, when we went to like Nyaka and swam across the current and jumped off the waterfall. And that courage to move forward and continue in this process. Because I knew I could start to feel Mother Aya working on me. All these little attunements and the sacred geometry and everything that was happening. It felt like my insides were just totally being cleaned out and adjusted. And there were more things happening than I could really comprehend.
Yeah, it's fast. Ayahuasca's fast, and it's just like if it's going too fast, you just have to surrender, right? And you did a good job of that. Just letting go and surrender, and just letting her do what she needs to do, which is like a defrag, right? You're just getting a cellular defrag.
Yeah. So the night progressed, and I got really into the music. I mean, the music was incredible. You played the Tibetan singing bowls, you played the gong, while Kevin did the hang drum and the flute and the chimes and the lyrics, the singing. I mean, it all meshed together in a beautiful flow throughout the entire night. And I was just in sync with it all. And it was just like a beautiful play. It was theatrical.
Yeah.
Like the whole night, the way it flowed. I mean, it was a roller coaster, but it had a beautiful undertone, a holding of the space, keeping the love, and supporting everybody in there, and just being of service. The way you guys handled it was just, it was incredible. It was totally selfless in the way you guys showed up.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Ceremony.
Yep. I really wanted to help everybody. It was great. It was a beautiful night.
Yeah.
Man.
So come morning, the sun started to come up, and then I can't remember if I took my fourth cup before or after, but I played my song. I had written a song about my intentions. It's called Aya.
Yep.
And that was extremely powerful. I mean, at that point, the medicine took over, my higher self took over, and I was just experiencing it. Like, I was just viewing it, I was feeling it, but it was something greater than myself that was just carrying me. And I played the song for everybody, and I felt the power. I felt the release. I felt the healing. I felt the love, the letting go. And I felt like I had transcended. So then I lied back down and was just flat on the ground unless I had to get up to drink water or purge. And then, you know, the sun had come up and everybody kind of gathered together.
Yeah.
And we did the rape, which is a snuff.
Yeah, it's pure nicotine up through the nose, kind of opens up the sinuses, opens up the pineal gland.
Grounding.
Yeah.
Grounding.
Yeah, it's very grounding to the earth as ayahuasca, right, really takes you up into the cosmos. The nicotine brings you back down. It's a very nice experience.
Yeah, so at that point I was totally feeling bliss, grounding, connected, like everything is okay. And
right.
I could see how now I can experience life with more love,
right,
and less fear, which is ultimately the biggest teaching that I received from this.
That's beautiful.
You know, besides, like, we're all connected, we are all love. I mean, those were underlying themes, I think, also with the cactus medicine.
Sure. And that's kind of what we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, you read these books, you hear a person says, I mean, everything's love and light, this sort of high frequency, you know what I mean? And it's simply a choice if you want to stay in shame, guilt, fear, and anger, or move up to love. And one of the ways to do that is to take the plants so that you can feel it. You can have that aha moment that we were talking about. And you know, as Dave, you know, discusses his personal story, those of you out there in the recovery community, I know that there's some controversy out there, and a lot of people say, hey, you know, these medicines are judged a bit. You know, a lot of people, I know in the beginning too, for me, I used drugs too. And I remember thinking, well, people are telling me about taking these medicines, but why would I go backwards? I've come forwards. You know, why would I do drugs again? I'm trying to get away from drugs. But then when I finally, again, things occur in threes. Like you said, everybody was telling you about it, and everyone told me about it. I did it. And then I realized, wow, I changed my terminology. I was like, this is a medicine. I could never get addicted to this. I don't want to do this tomorrow. Actually, I've observed my life. It got me to review my life, my past, and realize some of the emotional blockages and some of the things that were creating the reasons why I wanted to do these over and over again. Actually, for people that are in recovery, right, it can actually eliminate or completely bust the idea of the insanity, right? What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, that's addiction, right? And it's just a low frequency. So when you take these medicines, it allows you to feel the high possible frequencies of you. Then, when you come down, you can review that experience, and then you can see your addiction with brand new eyes. With brand new eyes, right? And then, now that helps you. So it's a river as an aid, right? So that you don't go back and do it again. So that you alleviate the insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And it is, again, like we talked about, it is a way. It is a way. It's very fast. It's very intense. But it is a way for those of you that are in recovery to use as a tool to alleviate the insane behavior, right? Another way is 12 steps, right? The communities that are out there, all the recovery communities, you know, where you band together, you know, and you talk about, you know, about your issues and what's going on, and you have support groups, right? Just like there's support groups with raw food and support groups with everything, you know. This is just another way of working. You can pretend that the plant is just a support group, you know, and it's helping you raise your vibration, not from the outside in, but from the inside out, and teaching you the highest possible experiences of you. So any of you that are out there that are in recovery, you know, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I don't know, I don't know, this is just a drug. What? I'm going backwards, right? I'm doing drugs again. Why would I do drugs? I have my problems with drugs. I promise you, because I had the same judgments, and I'm sure you did too. These are not drugs. These are medicines. They are medicines that raise your vibration so that you can let go of the blockages where your addiction started in the first place. And when you let go of the blockages, you're free. You're free of the monkey on your back, right? I mean, we've had heroin addicts here that have done ayahuasca and changed their life. Cocaine addicts, your problems, you know, some of the issues that you've had, over and over and over again. So those of you out there that are on the fence a little bit, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's a great thing for really anybody to try, as long as they're going into it with the right intentions.
Exactly.
And they're preparing. And the other thing I want to say is that the medicines taught me how much I actually need to do meditation and to go deeper in other spiritual practices.
Absolutely, because the things, this place is a great place to land, right? So you do the medicine like San Pedro or cactus medicine or ayahuasca, and what do they generally teach you? Three, I call them the big three. Change the way you eat lighter foods, predominantly fruits and vegetables, cooked or raw, whatever. Change the way you think, let go of shame, guilt, fear, and anger, right? Learn unconditional love. And meditation and prayer. The two really are the same, right? That means sitting somewhere and learning to be okay with being still. There are many different ways for that too. So the plans teach you, hey, you can get this on your own, right? And so our place does that. We teach that. So you do the medicines as an adjunct to all the things that we're doing here on the farm. Change the way you eat, change the way you think, meditation and prayer work, getting that mind still and quiet. Right? And the plants just is an added helper for that. The medicines really help in that process in an individual's life. You know?
Absolutely.
You've done fantastic here, man. Good luck on your
And
journey.
you survived one of our worst Novembers on record. With a
Yeah,
smile
very
on your
rainy, yeah.
face.
But guess
Yes.
what? The 2 greatest days we
Were
had
the medicine
in 3
days.
Were the
weeks.
medicine days.
Yeah, were the medicine days. The sun came out.
And Hurricane Day. Which was Thanksgiving.
Yep. So hey man, thank you.
And we're
I
gonna
feel a real strong connection to you. We've had a lot of great conversations, you know, and they're good because it's not like just one-sided me telling you what to do. You know, it's just like, you know, talking really good conversations about some of the things that you're interested in and that I'm interested in, and we learn from each other. And it's just it's a beautiful thing, man. And I can't wait. You're gonna be back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, probably this next summer. So.
And you're gonna go back to where you're from. Is it Chicago? No, DC.
DC.
The DC area, and you're gonna
Northern
do
Virginia, DC area.
You're going to do a lot of activism work, which I think is awesome. That's from the heart, and that was a discussion that we got into. But that's a loving thing, man. It is. Don't throw that out, right? You know, I mean, that's a loving thing. You're going to do a lot of activism type work, and then you're in the music business, right? And so maybe you're going to make some ayahuasca songs for us by the time you come back.
Well, I got one.
He's got one already.
We're gonna record one right now, and it's gonna be plugged into the tail end of this video here.
Yep, we're going to put it in. So again,
let's go do
Dave,
that.
thank you, and we'll see you again in July.
Sounds good, brother.
I love you, man.
Love you too.
My bald friend. And again, those of you out there in recovery, you know, we have Into the Light retreats where you can come for a 1-week intensive, and we also, as Dave does, he comes as a guest for a little bit longer during our guest time season where he does 3 weeks. Next year he's coming in July again for another month to keep going deeper, learning more. So those of you that are a little bit open, you're on the fence, and just say, darn it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try this river. This might maybe I'm a little bit stuck in my insanity, and my mind is just looped a little bit, and I'm in 12 steps, and I'm doing things, but I'm still struggling a little bit. This might take you over the hump. This might get you past that insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Right? Think about it. Ponder it. We love you.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Love you.
Oh, grandmother, I set my intentions. I sit here, look at my reflection in the mirror. I am fully open to all of your teachings, and I surrender to my feelings. I know it's my time to flow with the divine. So take me to that sacred vine. Please rid me of all of this fear. Take the wheel. I will let you steer. All of my addictions. Help me to see that I am not a victim. I know it's my time to flow with the divine. So take me to that sacred vine. Spiritual knowledge I would like to gain. Help me to retain so I can reclaim and I'll change. Show me what's under the surface. Enlighten me on my meaning and my purpose. I know it's time to flow with the divine. So take me to that sacred vine. Take me